Hello, I'm John, the executive producer here at Final Show Films. I got a few notes for you before the show. First, I want to thank you all for watching. We couldn't do what we do or the amount of things that we do without the support of you, the viewer. If you want to support us financially, which we always appreciate, you can go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms, where you can donate as little as $1 a month to help us continue this and all the things that we do. I want to give a special shout out to our $25 supporters, Antitonic, Waterflame, and Samantha Bates. Second, I want to let you all know that we here at Final Show Films are planning a little get-together up at Gen Con this year. That's August 2nd through 5th up at Indianapolis. We're going to be up there just sort of hanging out, enjoying the con, spending time together, and if any of you guys want to come up and say hi, please feel free. We don't bite unless you want us to. And if you enjoy whatever it is you're about to watch or listen to, be sure to check out our website at finalshowfilms.com, where you can find links to all of our other content, both podcast and video. And be sure to follow me at John A. Bates on Twitter for more updates on all of the content we're creating in the future. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy. We're live.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Curse of Strahd. I'm William, and I'm the Dungeon Master for this particular campaign. And let's introduce our players. We will start with just your names, because I'll be introducing your characters as we roll in. So, we have John.
I'm John.
And Aaron.
I'm Aaron. Hi.
And Jeremy.
I'm Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
And Jeff.
Hi, I'm Jeff, and I was never known as Larry.
Mom was never known as Larry. That's an accurate statement, probably. Or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so, let's go ahead and roll right into this, shall we? So, this particular campaign starts in the land of Faerun on the Sword Coast, near the town or in the town of Daggerford. The Duchess Morwen of Daggerford is having guests for dinner, and you all are invited. No strangers to Daggerford, you have come to the town's defense on more than one occasion, and you count Lady Morwen as a friend and benefactor. A cool autumn breeze blows through the streets as you make your way to the keep. As you enter, there is light provided by candlelight and candelabra, and a fine feast is set out as a number of guests sit at the table, already dining and having conversation, as the first to enter is the finely dressed woman of Omnian descent, but Thavian origin. The Lady Maria, if you could describe yourself.
Maria de Nazul is an Omnian, as we said, an Omnian native, which basically means Spanish. Darker skin tone, very wavy, almost curly black hair, cut short on all the sides but left long in the top so it flows over to one side in an undercut. Dressed impeccably in black leathers with red trim in the style of the Thavian courts, with a long side cape, not a full cloak, but just sort of a cape that sort of hangs down one side, and a very well kept and maintained longsword buckled onto her hip at all times.
As you enter, the Lady Morwen gives you a somewhat strange smile. She seems to be under a lot of pressure lately, but she gives you a smile and a greeting as you are led to the table to have your food and drink by some of the servants. The next to enter, after a few of the rather numerous nobles that like to make their grand entrances, there's just the ever slight pause in the breath, like just a faint holding of breath, but in the entire room as the stern visage of Valis enters the room. Valis, you could describe yourself.
So, Valis is Moderately tall. About just a hair underneath 6 feet. Well built. But size is almost secondary. Just he has a much larger he has that combination of dark features and pale skin that tends to set people off. And if that doesn't do it, then just the straight black eyes will. A calling to his ASMR heritage. He comes in is dressed in his armor. Good, solid, well-built scale mail. Always comes armed with hand axe and mace and various implements. And he doesn't really smile. Very, very serious. And has a amulet to Kelemvor around his neck.
All right. And as you enter, there's just the faintest pause in all of the conversation as everyone notices your presence. And doing their best to avoid the awkwardness, they try and get back to their conversation before it seems like they're all stopping for you.
Right.
Even though it becomes quite clear that they are.
He ignores it. He's used to it.
You are nonetheless led to your seat and given food and drink as you choose whether or not you wish to converse with any of the nobles who you know are here simply to hobnob with other individuals of their ilk.
Do we know each other?
Yes, the two of you and the other two who will be introduced in a moment have done some work for Lady Morin before in the defense of Daggerford.
Mm-hmm.
And you have worked specifically together before.
Hello, Varys. Pleasure to see you.
Ah, you are here.
Indeed I am. Drink.
Just gives a little nod.
After a moment of quiet between the two of you, the next one to enter, in her long, flowing white priest robes, who brings a decidedly more upbeat vibe to the room than Valis did upon his entry, is Connie, if you could describe yourself.
Connie has a sort of short pixie cut of white hair. She's wearing simple but form-fitting and clearly well-manicured priestly robes of, as William mentioned, of a sort of light fabric. She has a shield and a staff, a staff, and a blade to her side. A shield, a staff on her back, and a blade to her side. And she carries sort of a, she prominently carries a prayer book. Just sort of looks around without saying anything and moves in as quickly as will not arouse additional scrutiny.
You do get a faint nod from Lady Morwen as she spots you entering. And the conversation carries on amongst the group of you and the nobles who are sitting here for another 15, 20 minutes before staggering in, late as can be expected, Jonelle, if you could describe yourself.
Jonelle, he stands about 5'7". His skin is fairly dark with slight tinge of green of a wood elf. His normally unruly hair has been kind of pulled back into a makeshift ponytail to make himself a little bit more presentable. He is currently wearing what is probably looks like a borrowed robe. it's very much not meant for him because his normal attire is much less formal. And he carries with him a spear, which he uses more, it seems to be using more as a walking stick than as a weapon of sorts. And, kind of look around, looking slightly uncomfortable as he walks in.
Well, I see our vagabond has arrived. Marius, I'll say, holding a glass of wine up.
Let's give a...
And the four of you naturally gravitate to each other as adventurers. You stand out somewhat from the rest of the nobility and snobbish royalty who tend to arrive to Lady Morwen's parties. You all being somewhat more of a practical lot. Even the most ostentatious of you is more practical than these nobles. The meals are of excellent quality. There's hot, spicy soups and tenderly cooked pheasants and a variety of wines and ales on offer. But all of you seem to notice that the Duchess seems somewhat more out of sorts than usual. And in fact, at a moment of her able to break from the conversation with some of these nobles, she actively approaches the four of you. Yes, it's good to see all of you. I'm terribly sorry to intrude upon you. Would it be possible to speak with the in private?
Most certainly. I say, looking
Of
over the
course,
rest of them.
milady.
Of course. And, General's kind of pulling at the
Connie,
collar of his
who
robe.
notably hasn't said anything up until this point, unless directly addressed, will just sort of nod.
Yes, I appreciate that. If you could come with me. And she leads you out of the main dining hall into like a small sitting room that's off to the side. I
maintain my grip on my wine glass.
she notices but doesn't seem to mind. As she leads you to the small sitting room and just, please, if you all would make yourselves comfortable, I just have a bit of a request.
I proceed to lounge in whatever chair presents itself.
And it's finely upholstered. There's everything is held up in a nice velvet with finely crafted wood.
He finds a spot. Valis finds a spot where he can see the entire room and the door and stands.
Jonelle will kind of look at the chairs for a moment and just shrug. He'll just stand, kind of leaning heavily onto his spear.
Connie will sit in a chair like a normal person.
We've got 2 sitters and 2 standers.
So, I wanted to speak to the group of you about a concern that I have had emerge in my lands recently. There have been a band of travelers who have camped outside of my walls. At first, I was willing to let them rest, as they seemed relatively harmless, but I have continuously received reports that they've begun harassing the townfolk and any other visitors as they come and go, demanding money, wine, threatening to put hexes on anyone who doesn't pay. I ordered several guards to scare them away, see them off, the previous evening, but they didn't seem to be able to get the job done. In fact, when they returned, they were speaking sympathetically of them, and my court wizard seemed to deduce that they had been charmed. So I don't want an armed conflict, but I was hoping to send someone who was a little bit more experienced to give them more of a stern warning and tell them to leave before they cause any more trouble.
I could do this fairly easily, if that is what you desire, my lady.
If we can find a peaceful way to get them to leave, that would be desirable.
And, well, I'm not necessarily one for strong measures. If they don't leave before dawn, I will have to, at the very least, give the order to to set their wagons alight. So if you can give them that as a certain incentive.
I'm certain we can convince them.
All right. Well, you're welcome to take to your meal and see to this whenever you would. If you would see to it before the evening.
Of course.
She escorts you back to the dining hall where you're welcome to have your food and drink or do as you will or head out immediately.
I am going to finish my meal.
Yeah, definitely going to finish the meal.
Well, this seems to be quite a predicament that we have outside the walls. Any ideas other than a certain talking to?
Connie will sort of flip through her book. And give a bit of a shrug.
In that
It is
case,
call and sort of almost halfway reading out of the book. It is call upon us to prevent the violation of will and preserve the sanctity and beauty of the land. For closing the book again.
Trying so hard to be that cleric.
Yeah.
I would agree wholeheartedly, Connie. Thus, we shall finish our meal and go have a chat with them, shall we?
Yes.
Oh, do cheer up, Valis, please. You are quite dour.
Yeah.
I did not realize this.
Drinks
It
wine.
said total deadpan. You can't tell. You probably can't tell if he's joking or not.
I just smile.
I'm just imagining Valis as
Connie
Stephen
flips to a
Wright.
different page. Joy is belied by beauty and beauty by joy.
Thank you, Connie.
I love this group already.
During the course of the meal, Jonelle will surreptitiously put loaves of, or take some buns and stuff like that and stow them away.
Go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check.
I don't think people will mind, but yeah, he's just trying to hide it.
14. Hey, I don't hear say yourself to toggle. No one really seems to notice, and the couple that notice don't really seem to mind. They almost seem to expect it of you at this point. But you managed to steal an extra day's worth of rations from the table, basically.
They're much better than the ones I usually have.
So,
all right. So you all finish your meal, and you at this time the sun is just beginning to set. It's starting to get dark. As you make your way towards the camp outside the gates of Daggerford, it's right near the road. As you leave, you notice there are guards atop the wall who are just kind of looking down at this camp. So as the evening grows dark, you see a dozen men and women gathered around a crackling bonfire. The folk are in good spirits, and a few of them sing and dance around the fire, while others find happiness in their flasks and wineskins. 3 barrel-topped wagons are parked at odd angles. Tied to a nearby tree, grazing are half a dozen draft horses wearing bright coats with bangles and tassels. And you see a number of these individuals sitting and having conversation around one of the central campfires as you approach.
I stride up confidently towards the campfire, and does there seem to be any one of them that stands out as the leader?
Yes, there is an elderly man who is sort of laughing and with a wineskin in his hand, sort of spinning tales as he, yes, and then the beast roared up and stormed out of the cave. And he sort of seems to be the one sort of leading the conversation here.
I'm just going to give a loud but polite cough.
as you interrupt the conversation, and then Yes, children, go to your tents. It seems that we have guests. And he sort of stands, takes a drink out of his wineskin, straightens himself out, and approaches. Ah, greetings, fellows. I see that you have come to speak to us. My name is Stanimir, and I speak for these handful of Istani travelers. Who are you?
I am Maria de Nazul, here from, most largely from Thay, but also here at the behest of the Lady of the Manor. She has requested, quite kindly, that you and your people take leave of the premises. And I would request that you follow.
Don't worry. We have no wish to make enemies of Lady Marwyn. I have a story to tell all of you, though. Please, first you listen, then we go. We're expecting you.
Insight check?
You were expecting us?
Sure.
So, Valis is just standing vaguely behind Maria, not really saying anything since we haven't really established where anybody else is.
Uh-huh.
Yep. 9.
Okay. Anyone else want to roll insight?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Sure.
so.
18.
First roll of the campaign. Let's see how this game's going to go for me. Well,
Not too
that's
bad.
I don't
concerning.
feel like that's a good omen in this context.
That's concerning.
Mostly because I've got proficiency in Wednesday.
So, Maria and Jonelle, you're not quite certain what he means by that. It's a little off-putting. Connie, you get the feeling that there was more to this than just a group of vagrants sitting at the walls, and that this was very purposeful. Valis, these people were looking for you specifically. They were here stirring up trouble so that Lady Morwood would send a group of adventurers.
So, eyes narrow.
He just kind of looks at the group of you. Please, gather around the fire and hear my tale.
Waiting to see. We'll wait for Jeremy to
All
finish his
right.
thought real quick.
Connie will sort of flip
Yeah.
through her book. To preserve the beauty of the land, it has been requested that you leave. If it is for the good of all that cities gleam.
Yes, we will take our leave as soon as you listen to the tale that we have to tell you.
So,
And fuck it. They're gonna set your carts on fire if you don't, so
Valis does a quick look around. How many people are there?
There are about 11 individuals around this camp and about 6 draft horses.
Okay, and how many of them look armed and or combat capable?
Roll me perception.
actually, if I have a slightly weird feeling about this, the children ran off.
14.
No, the children are still around. They're just kind of playing farther
Can
away.
I make a check to see if they're an illusion?
Go ahead and roll me investigation.
I disbelieve.
So there are 2 individuals who are notably armed. Both of them seem to bear a striking resemblance to Stanimir. You'd almost guess that they were his children.
Right.
They're leagues younger than him, but there is a female who has sort of a let me make sure I know exactly what I'm working with here. Who has a sort of a quarterstaff and a dagger, very obviously present, and the other one, the male, very long Fu Manchu and pointed beard, has sort of a cutlass looking like a scimitar maybe on his waist that he has his hands nowhere near. He's nowhere near close to drawing it. But of the other 9, there's like a handful of adults, and most of them seem to have some kind of weapon, but none of them seem even remotely close to using them right now.
So Valis sort of cuts off the pleasantries, just steps forward to get like about this far away from Stanimir. Sort of look down at him. Why are you here?
Connie, they do not appear to be illusions.
I
They
lean
appear to actually be children.
I lean around Valis. This is Valis, by the way. And then lean back behind him. How tall is Valis?
5'10".
Oh, we're the same height.
5'10", 180 pounds.
Also 5'10". Much lighter, though.
He doesn't seem to be phased. He just says, "We are here because I have a tale for you."
You're lying.
He just kind of extends his hands. Do you wish to listen?
I don't see how listening
He looks
to it.
back to the others with a look that says, "Should we play now?"
Jonelle just put his hand up, and we will listen for now.
I don't see what harm listening.
You will leave peacefully afterwards.
We shall.
Inciting
I
that
have
as
a
well.
wisdom of 6. I am fine with this plan.
And you can roll him insight.
12.
Neutral good does not mean neutral nice.
He definitely seems like his goal is leaving after he tells you this story. You feel like there's more to it than that, but he definitely seems like he's going to depart soon after this story.
Well, if a simple task of listening to your story is all that it requires for you to leave, then I think it would behoove us to sit down and have a listen.
Very well. And he kind of like takes his his skin of wine and swirls it around for a second, takes a drink, fills his mouth with wine, and spits it into the fire. The flames immediately burst up, changing from orange to green. As they dance and sway, a dark shape appears in the core of the bonfire. As he begins to... I'm going to show you this handout. As he begins to weave his tail.
As he casts Control Flames.
We come
Thaumaturgy.
from an ancient land whose name is long forgotten. A land of kings. Our enemies forced us from our homes, and now we wander the lost roads. The dark shape in the fire takes the form of a man being knocked from his horse, a spear piercing his side. And Stanimir continues. One night, a wounded soldier staggered into our camp and collapsed. We nursed his terrible injury and quenched his thirst with wine. He survived, and when we asked him who he was, he would not say. All he wanted was to return home, but we were deep in the land of his enemies. We took him as one of our own, followed him back toward his home. His enemies hunted him. They said he was a prince, yet we didn't give him up, even when their assassins fell upon us like wolves. And deep in the bonfire, you see the dark figure standing with sword drawn, fighting off a host of shadowy shapes. This man of royal blood fought to protect us as we protected him. We bore him safely to his home, and he thanked us. He said, I owe you my life. Stay as long as you wish. Leave when you choose, and know that you will always be safe here. The figure in the dancing fire vanquishes its final foe and then disperses in a cloud of smoke and embers. But then, something about Stanimir changes. His face becomes more of a somber mask, and he kind of brings a hand to his chest. A curse has befallen our noble prince, turning him into a tyrant. We alone have the power to leave this domain. We've traveled far and wide to find heroes such as yourselves to end our dread lord's curse and put his troubled soul to rest. Our leader, Madam Ava, knows all. Will you return to Barovia with us and speak with her? This is the task for which we have sought you.
Do I know anything about Barovia?
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Roll me a
Good
religion check.
Yeah.
Religion check.
Yay, I'm good at that. Relatively speaking.
Relative.
Natural 20.
Hey. Let me pull up my... Also natural 20.
Nice.
I haven't rolled above a 10.
that seems correct.
No, you have not.
that seems correct. Yes.
You are not familiar with the land of Barovia, but you are, those of you who rolled natural 20s, are familiar with the concept of domains that only a handful of people are freely able to enter and leave. Typically speaking, they are either magically sealed or kept behind planar boundaries. What this man seems to be implying is that there is a whole nother realm where this land of Barovia lies that only certain people are allowed to enter and leave from.
So what you're saying is that your request, in order for you to leave this place, is for us to follow you to a place we may not be able to return from in order to deal with a curse on a prince whom we do not know, nor to whom we owe any allegiance.
When you put it like that, it does sound somewhat far-fetched, but you must understand that you may be the only hope for our prince.
You could not go to Waterdeep and find Force Grey?
Do you think they would assist a band of lonely wanderers?
What makes us likely to assist you anymore?
You are here, you have listened to my tale.
So flipping again through the book, Connie will. Your tale is befouled by false pretense. The noble little church of Sun and the beauty of the land does not tolerate or endorse such deception in tales that purport to be truths.
Well, we have one vote no. I sort of look at the other two, or the rest of the group, and see what they're.
Okay, with the
what their
natural 20,
thinking are.
it's pretty clear that Connie is going, well, actually, that's not what I said.
So I'm just looking at the rest of at the other three and seeing what their opinions on this are. So Connie's. What was the intention with that reading? Because it sounded like a no.
It's a how do you redeem your story was the question she was trying to pose, but didn't quite have the accurate prepared statement for.
Aha.
Their attempt at deception and subterfuge aside, they are calling us to free the light of a man underneath a curse. I would say that is... I'm almost obligated to offer my assistance.
You have a kind soul, and I appreciate your candor.
I'm looking at Valis now.
He's just sort of got his arms crossed, staring intently. I am not necessarily opposed.
Well then. Looking back at Connie again. What more would you like to hear, Connie?
Connie will. You have started with a false and a pretense under which the rightful authorities of this town were bewitched. How do you explain your actions and that deception? And is it proven and rightful and righteous is make accusation against you?
We have offered no deceptions. We have made camp outside of these walls and asked for coin and food while we waited to potentially be encountered by some heroes like you who might be able to save the life of our prince. We have made no pretenses to the otherwise.
And the accusation of your bewitching the rightful guards of the city.
That one we did do. The guards tried to violently run us off, and we could not have them drawing blades on us, after all.
I'm still watching Connie to see what her reaction to that explanation is.
Roll me an insight.
Sure.
How well does
Natural
Connie
20.
show it?
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
With a natural 20, you can see that Connie is like, how do I justify saying yes so I can fight shit?
Well, in that case, we seem to have at least two of our more kind-hearted individuals willing to assist. I cannot, in good conscience, let poor Valis go off on his own into danger, for you see, he is not a man of the world and is quite easily tricked into parting with his underwear. So I will happily journey with him as well. Connie, would you be so kind as to accompany me? I would hate to be left alone with these two.
I should note that just this early in the game, we've had 6 d20s.
There's 6 natural 20s.
There's six natural 20s.
That isn't ominous at all, especially given how our last game started.
Counting the one that I accidentally rolled publicly when that was supposed to be a
Oh, well, yeah.
I feel like in this
player
context
ones.
that still counts. Yeah, 5-player ones.
1 out of every 3 rolls so far.
And 2 of them were mine.
I feel like we could all agree this is terrifying and ominous.
First combat, nothing but natural ones.
Does Curse of Strahd have rigged API roll 20?
Valis looks over at Maria, completely confused.
Maria's just smiling and waiting to see what Connie says.
Connie will. It is my duty to preserve the beauty of the land, and I will accompany you to this end.
I appreciate it. And sort of turn back to what's his name? Stanimir. So, how do we go to this mythical land of curses and princes?
We shall set out immediately. Please, if you wish to rest, we will be traveling for some days. Please feel free to take a seat on the caravan.
I will promptly do so. There is no convenience Maria will forsake.
Yes, I will also do so. I can't have my dress getting dirty.
It's true. It's such a lovely dress as well.
Does not sit.
Jonelle will watch them
anything.
pack up for a little bit before taking his seat, and he will take off his borrowed robe to his more usual raggedy, more comfortable attire.
Stanimir's daughter seems to notice and just kind of gives you a nod. Yes, you understand the meaning of making a good impression. So as the group of you gather up and leave with Stanimir and his caravan, you travel for several days of uneventful journey. On roughly the third day out from Daggerford, however, as you are traveling, almost out of nowhere, heavy mist and fog sweeps in, rolling thick around the caravan and almost completely obscuring the area even 5 feet in front of you. There is a howling noise like 1,000 lost souls slowly moaning in the wind. And the mist swirls strongly around you before it parts. Not completely. You're still enshrouded in mist, but you have more of a view than you did before. As I need to now draw your attention all the way over here. It's control click, right? Or is it shift click?
Shift click.
Shift click. I'm going to drag you all the way over here. And then I need to find you guys a token to use. Let's find a party token. What's useful?
They're just a wagon of some kind.
So I know what you meant, but when you said party token, I was thinking like one of those party horn things. Yep.
We'll use this. There you go.
Oh, it's a cute little soldier man pulling a cart.
All right. So, as the mists retract, you find yourself definitely not in the region of the Sword Coast you were at before. All of the trees are much thicker, and everything seems to loom in ominously as you see mists all on the corners of your vision.
Yeah, the second mists had begun to show up, Velas had his axe out. And he's in full, like, defensive shield up.
Well, this is quite a change of scenery.
Where are we?
Welcome to Barovia.
I sort of turn and look back the way we came. What does the path behind us look like, if anything?
So as you look behind you, all you see is a wall of fog.
That is unsettling.
These are definitely not the woods that we were traveling through.
No.
No.
Come. We will lead you on the road to Madame Eva.
Continue to ride on the cart.
Continue to walk.
All right. And as the caravan continues to make its way through, Stanimir from the head of the first wagon, which Maria and Connie are also sitting in, just kind of, and this, we travel on the old Svalich road. This is the road to the gates of Barovia. And as you look around, you see just black pools of water that stand like dark mirrors in and around the muddy roadway. Giant trees loom on both sides of the road, their branches clawing at the mist. Everything here is ominous. It's just by nature, everything here speaks of darkness and danger.
Keeping an eye out.
He's expecting nothing less.
Right. I need... Hello, stream.
Hello, myself. Oh,
Oh God, it's still happening.
Jeff,
What the
we're
fuck?
hearing ourselves through you.
Yeah, no, sorry.
All right. So, as you move on, it's about an hour of travel. Ooh. And in the second half of that hour, I need to roll. If someone could roll me a D12 and a D8, please.
Well, roll
I'll-
a D8.
I'll get the D12.
Roll a d12.
Or I'll let
Okay,
Garrett
go ahead.
Double fours.
All right then.
Strahd appears. We all die. Strahd appears. It was my curse.
Where did I find this? Yes. Okay. As let me get the. There he is. Okay. So as you travel through the second hour, you hear. Actually, I can make everyone roll a perception check.
Perception. 8. That's more like it.
19. Hey, I rolled above a 10.
Perception. 7.
10.
Here it begins.
We hit Barovia and everything goes to shit. Sounds thematically appropriate.
Janelle, as the caravan is moving, you hear hooves, but not the hooves of the horses that are pulling the caravan. There are hooves that you can hear in the forest, and they're moving very fast, and they're getting closer.
Yeah, immediately look over towards there. I suppose if I'm riding in the cart, tap Maria and just kind of point silently.
I turn to look.
All right. As you all turn to look, with a 3, a javelin soars out of the forest and just digs into the side of one of the caravans as the drivers all turn and look as what appears to be a skeletal horse with equally skeletal rider on top proceeds to bolt out of the tree line, rushing towards the group of you.
That was not very nice.
All right, that's the thing that's gonna that's the thing.
I'm going to stand up and throw an Eldritch Blast at it.
I am so.
I suspect won't last very long, so I'm just gonna say, I don't even know if it's worth bringing you to a battle map.
Let's find out. What's Valis doing?
Yeah, Valis, what are you up to while I'm doing this?
Valis steps forward. Grabs. That's probably not close enough for that. And it's probably, I'm willing to. Yeah, he's just going to grab his mace and charge it.
All right.
Yeah, Janelle will be hopping out of the wagon and.
All right. So. Let me pull this up. Skeleton and his rider.
Yeah. Raising my left hand, I just sort of clench it in the air as purple energy coalesces in my palm and just gonna launch it at him.
You know what? It's gonna be another round before he's actually close enough to hit the wagon. So if each of you could go ahead and make me an attack roll with whatever you're using or whatever you're doing.
Does it have to be ranged attacks, or is it going to be?
Damn it.
I would say that if you're charging it, you would have to dash to reach him right now.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm dashing.
Yeah. I'd be right behind Valis.
I unleash an Eldritch Blast. I miss with a natural 1.
Yes, you do.
Of course you do.
As you coalesce this raw purple energy in your hand, you thrust your hand forward, and it arches forward, passing right between 2 of the skeleton's ribs, and just out the other side.
Yes. There's just cursing in Omnian.
Dashing, I guess.
All right. So the three of you dash, which puts you right up next to this skeletal warhorse as he rears up at the group of you that have rushed up towards him. His one turn. He lunges down toward who came up the most threateningly. Valis.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Does a 21 hit you?
Yes, a 21 hits me.
We begin.
You take 5 points of piercing damage as this short spear basically jabs into your shoulder.
Meh.
And then the horse's hooves kick out towards Connie with a 7, which I'm assuming misses you.
Yeah.
And that is its turn. What are the rest of you doing?
I was going to attempt
Nah.
something acrobatic here.
I believe they're going to pile on.
And my attack would be as a full-on run, basically plant the spear into the ground to use as a pole vault and aim a flying kick to knock the skeleton off the horse.
All right, roll me attack rolls.
And then
I am hitting the horse with the mace.
And with a
real
natural
hard.
20.
I am hitting the skeleton with a quarterstaff.
I hop off the wagon so that it doesn't take off with me on it, and I'm gonna just while walking towards the rest of them, shooting another Eldritch Blast out.
All right.
This one's a 25.
All of those hit, so go ahead and roll me damages.
8 bludgeoning damage.
11 bludgeoning damage.
For bludgeoning, the 3 is because of the stupid way that Roll20's automatic handles quarterstaffs.
2 force.
All right. So, who was attacking the horse and who was attacking the rider?
I was
Horse.
attacked.
Or rider.
Horse.
Okay, so Valis and Maria were attacking the horse. Jonelle was attacking the rider. Connie, were you attacking the horse or the rider? I missed that.
Rider.
Rider? Okay. So between using bludgeoning weapons against a skeleton, between
There's a reason he put his axe away and grabbed his mace.
between Connie's staff cracking into its torso and Jonelle's flying high kick towards its skull, the skeleton just launches off the back of the horse and hits the ground, just scattering across the ground in a pile of bones and armor. The blast of the eldritch energy slams into the side of the horse, who recoils just long enough for Valis's mace to connect with its ribcage and crack several different bones, and it also just releases this one last it's like almost unearthly wail that should not belong to either horse or man or undead, that just collapses to the ground afterwards.
I was expecting something more.
As you all like stand around the pile of bones, standing.
I'm looking back to see if the cart has ditched us.
No, it's still there.
Looking around to see if there's any more following this horse.
Stanimir kind of looks out at the group.
What
Well,
Valis
seems-
is doing.
It seems Barovia has sensed the presence of newcomers and does not take kindly.
It is slightly concerning that the domain can sense things, but aside from that, is everyone okay? I say, approaching the other 3.
Hmm.
You got hit, right?
No, kind of got missed. You were the only one that got hit.
Oh, okay. Then I really quick cast Cure Wounds on myself.
That's a good curing
That's
roll.
just-
I'm really concerned.
That was unnecessarily powerful.
You would have healed yourself back to full on a 1.
Yeah, I know.
Well, if we are all feeling better, again, following suit and looking around like the others are to see if there were any more of these coming.
Roll our perception.
Perception checks from all of us, because we're in a foggy place with skeleton horses. 11.
16.
20.
Jeremy, you're rolling really well today. I don't know what's up.
We'll see how this holds out.
As all of you look around, the forest is clearly very well trodden by a number of creatures and beasts and all sorts of things, but you do not hear more of the sounds of skeletal horses at the moment.
Well, shall we return to the cart, my friends?
Nods.
Any of you going to search the body?
There's a body and not just a pile of bones.
I mean, there's armor and stuff.
What's among the pile of bones?
So among the body, you find, first off, his spear and his short sword, as well as a short bow. The armor that he's wearing probably can't be salvaged, all things considered. It's kind of ruined in many different places, and as you pull it off, it breaks into pieces. But you do find on him a small iron lantern that does not appear to be lit, but has a sort of blackish candle in the center.
Does any of this read as magical?
Roll me Arcana.
22.
The lantern reads as faintly magical. Not like significant enough to be classified as a magic item, but it has a faint magic essence to it.
How many arrows were there?
10 arrows.
Does anybody want the bow and arrow? Is he holding them out?
It is not my weapon of choice.
Yeah, thank
Connie will raise a hand.
I'll haul out the arrow and quiver over towards Connie.
She will take every bit of it, take out a small cloth, and start getting all of the skeleton grime off of it so she can use it.
I'm just going to pull out a dagger, flip it around in my hands for a minute, and using the green flame blade cantrip, just light the candle in the lantern.
Funny you say green flame blade, because as you light the candle, the flame itself, normally if you light something on fire, it just kind of burns normally after that, but the flame on this candle continues to burn green and does not appear to emanate any heat.
We have found ourselves a magic lantern.
What does it do besides being slightly odd and off-putting?
Probably nothing good.
Well, I will take time to study it. We will see. So it just does. It's just not giving off any heat at all right now.
Nope. And the light that it gives off is the radius of a regular lantern light, but it's only dim light.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try.
Connie will take a normal candle because priest pack and
Yeah.
light it. Well, adventurer's pack, and light it on the candle if.
The flame does not appear to burn, so it doesn't actually catch the other candle.
It is not fire. I'll see if I can blow it out.
A light that does not burn with heat does not melt the wax and does not tarnish the books.
You can forcefully put it out, but you notice that it does not go out on its own. Like, it doesn't go out when you blow on it. You have to like reach your hand in and pinch the flame to make it actually go out.
Well, I am sure this will be quite useful. Connie, would you like it?
I'd be wary of such a thing.
Chick's head.
I'll just I'll sort of buckle it onto my belt.
You have the Bloodborne lantern.
Yes. I also have a spear and a short. I don't know why I'm going German. I don't.
Because you were German this afternoon.
It's true, yeah. I also have a spear and a short sword, if anyone wants it. Holding them out.
I have no need for a second spear, but thank you.
Looking at Valis.
How grimy do they look?
They are covered in skeleton grime and muck and mud.
Shake's head no.
Hold out.
The man with two axes and a mace is like, I'm fine.
I will wipe them off on the. Actually, I'm just going to green flame blade to burn away any grime.
I mean, on the spear that might be problematic because the haft is mostly made of wood.
Yeah, on the blade though.
Yeah, like the blade, you can definitely get everything off the blade by just igniting it with the green flame and just.
I'll put it on my belt next to the longsword, and I'll just walk with the spear for now. I'll get like a rag and start cleaning it off.
Yeah. Well, it is good that that is the only danger we have encountered as we are nearing the gates. All right. Let us continue, shall we?
Of course. Look out, everyone else. And so I sort of get back on the wagon and sit down, cleaning the
That's
spear.
Jonelle will walk from here, basically taking a opposite position from Valis, like one side of the cart to the other.
All right. So as you move, you begin to approach the gates of Barovia, which I can give you this handout now. I can show you this one.
Aha. Ooh, I can show that off. Hang on.
Shiny.
So as you approach, the fog spills out of the forest to swallow up the road behind you. Ahead, jutting high from the impenetrable woods on both sides of the road, are high stone buttresses looming gray in the fog. Huge iron gates hang on the stonework. Dew clings with cold tenacity to the rusted bars. Two headless statues of armed guardians flank the gate, their heads now lying among the weeds at their feet. They greet you only with silence.
You know, it's very challenging to behead a statue.
Indeed. It takes a lot of time and effort.
They must have really wanted to make a point.
Look around and it's like, so who are these statues of?
I believe these are statues of some of the knights who accompanied my lord to this land when he first called it his own.
Well,
And
this is quite welcoming.
did they not have heads before the statues were grazed?
Well, he says, pointing to the statue heads that are on the ground at the feet of the statues. They were up there.
This is someone sending a message.
Long ago, those statues were whole. It has been quite some time.
Well then, shall we continue to the gates?
As the caravan approaches, the gates slowly swing open on their own to admit the caravan.
Magical demiplane full of mysterious wonders and magic gates that open on their own.
This is ominous.
I believe that is the intention, yes.
And the caravan passes through the gates, and as the last cart of the caravan goes through, the gates shut behind them.
Also ominous.
Agreed.
Yes, now we enter.
Can I make like a perception or something to see if some member of the caravan may have done something to get the gate open and closed?
Yeah, go ahead.
Investigation or
That would be perception.
okay.
Just to notice if anyone had any.
Never mind.
Everyone very pointedly seems to have been going business as usual, as if the gate wasn't even there. It always opens for everyone.
So
Of
has
course it does.
no, actually, never mind. I'm not going to ask that question.
So if we need to leave, we resort to child napping. She doesn't say that.
And as you enter the woods, towering trees whose tops are lost in heavy gray mist block out all but a death gray light. Even in daylight, it is perpetually dim here. In fact, you wouldn't even call this sunlight. The tree trunks are unnaturally close to one another, and the woods have the silence of a forgotten grave, yet exude the feeling of an unvoiced scream.
The culture here is unnecessarily oppressive, I feel. Say, looking at the sky.
Such is the way the realm has become since the curse that has befallen, my lord.
This is all part of it.
Yes. The land is the Lord, and the Lord is the land. As a curse befalls him, one befalls the other.
I lean over. I sort of lean out of the cart towards Valis. Valis, darling, have you ever removed a
Yes.
curse off of an entire land?
Typically, I remove curses by removing heads, so no.
It would be an interesting feat then.
There is a first time for everything.
Lean back into the cart. What do we see ahead of us as the cart continues on?
Yeah, sure.
Let's see. Well, you travel for several hours. Not a whole lot seems to be threatening you through the woods because of the safety of the caravan. Outside, that rider definitely seemed to be paying attention to the caravan specifically, but everything here seems to avoid it. As you
So over the course of the next few hours, do I learn anything more about that lantern?
yes, as you inspect the lantern, basically you get that the lantern can be turned on and off physically as you wish. The flame always burns green. The candle never burns down. And it always exudes a normal lantern's width of dim light only.
Okay. So useful for the people that can't see in the dark. All right, I'll just leave it on my belt for now.
And so over the next course of several hours, you follow the old Svalich road down through the rest of until the forest begins to peel away. And as you exit the encroaching reach of the forest, you find yourself on what appears to be an open field, perhaps a bit of farmland, and off to your left there is a massive river that flows as clear as a blue winter sky through the valley that reaches south of you all the way across and back out of sight. And as you continue along the road, you eventually come within sight of the village of Barovia. Ba, 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 ba. I can now move you to this panel.
Ooh, a lovely town.
Let's see. There we go. And now I get to move to this area.
Which,
So.
oh, yeah.
As you all approach, tall shapes loom out of the dense fog that surrounds everything. The muddy ground underfoot gives way to slick, wet cobblestones. The tall shapes become recognizable as village dwellings. The windows of each house stare out from pools of blackness. No sound cuts the silence except for mournful sobbing that echoes through the streets from a distance.
But this is a shitty town.
Is everywhere
Which
in
direction
Barovia
is
like
that?
this?
Is the quote unquote coming from?
The sobbing?
Yes.
Give me 1 second. Let me put you all on the map.
Also, which direction are we coming from?
Yeah, I was about to say. So you all are emerging on this end of the map. And then roll me a perception check, Valis.
Okay. Nine.
9. Somewhere to the west, somewhere closer to the center of town.
9.
Nine. Okay, sorry. Valis starts walking purposefully in that direction.
I will follow Valis.
The caravan just kind of keeps pace, and as you get closer to the center of town, you find yourself all of the houses that you pass by are completely shuttered, like windows shut, doors shut, bars in the windows and doors. Not even a whole lot of light coming from inside. As you make your way through town, everything seems to have been either looted or shut down. Even all the shops are closed.
Noted.
This is a very dismal place.
It is an honest place.
Roll me investigation, each of you who are looking for this source of this sobbing.
13.
18.
Yeah, not looking for the sobbing, but just examining the houses as we go by. Just looking for any signs of life from inside.
Roll me a
Natural
perception check.
1. Makes that a 5.
Maria, this place is quiet,
Quiet
aside from the sobbing.
quiet and depressing.
Natural
Janelle,
20.
most of the walls of most of these buildings are covered in claw marks. Valis and Connie, as you approach closer to the center of the village, I'll move you all up, you start to get a clearer sense of where that sobbing is coming from. It's coming from somewhere south of the central square, which is this point right here, somewhere south of here.
He's heading straight in that direction.
All right, so Valis, as you round the corner, you actually make it to this house where you find exactly this one is where you can hear the noises coming from.
And I am following Valis still.
Take it, not going to examine them for long, but just to look at the claw marks, just kind of how deep are they, how big are they, and then
Roll me investigation.
trying to figure out what size of animal or type of animal might have done this. 7.
They're all different
Following
sizes.
Maria
They're
and
all different
Valis.
sizes of claw marks. Big, small, roughly humanoid size. It's really hard to say. They come from all over the place, but
Okay, yeah. It's gonna make
So, yeah.
they're on most of the houses, right?
yes.
Okay.
He reaches out and knocks.
Yeah, so as you approach, moaning sob floats through the still gray streets, coloring your thoughts with sadness. The sounds flow from a dark two-story townhouse, which Valis approaches and knocks on the door.
The sobbing suddenly becomes humming.
Yeah, no.
And we enter
I
Sweeney
burn
Todd.
the house down.
And we enter Sweeney Todd.
We set fire to the village, burn the land, go back home. Mission accomplished.
It's not going to be our answer for everything. Just burn it down.
There is no response. The sobbing continues. You notice the door is barricaded and boarded up from the inside.
I look back to the others like, thoughts?
Well, I'm going to point out some of the claw marks on some of the walls, and it's going, these people have had visitors quite frequently. Has to be on our guard.
Frowns, goes over and looks at the claw marks. His hand over it.
Can I determine the age of the voice that is sobbing?
Roll me investigation with disadvantage.
Okay. Does it sound young? Does it sound old?
Because you're relying only on hearing.
9.
9 is enough to tell that it does sound older.
So I'm just gonna move up to the door and call through it. Pardon, we have visitors coming from a far-off land. Can you talk to us? Seems like there's not many people around.
Roll me a persuasion check.
13. I rolled a 7.
The sobbing pauses for a minute, but no one seems to come to the door. It definitely seems like she's noticed your presence, though.
I'll call it again. We are travelers. I am Maria de Nazul, accompanied by Valus, Janelle, and Connie. We have come to assist, if we can.
You hear a voice that is very clearly choking back tears come through the door. Go away. There's nothing left here. There's only... Everything's gone.
Perhaps we can help.
There's a pause, and then the sound of heavy wooden objects being moved, just something being dragged across the ground. The door slowly slides open, and a older woman is at the door, clutching what appears to be a malformed doll close to her chest, as she looks out at the group of you with harrowed eyes, as she just... Can you find my daughter?
Oh, darling. I'd sort of step closer, not going to touch or anything, but just being a comforting presence. Please, tell me what happened. We will do our best.
I tried to keep her safe. I've raised her here her whole life, but a week ago, she got out and I haven't seen her since. I'm worried she's... And she just breaks back out into sobbing.
No. Do not think such thoughts. Tell me, why are all the houses boarded up? Why is everyone so quiet?
It's not safe to be out, especially not at night. Nights where the things come, where they take anyone who's outside.
Do you know what they are or where they take people?
I don't. It's just it's not safe to be out at night.
What is your daughter's name?
Gertruda.
Gertrude?
Gertruda.
Gertruda? I'm sure she is perfectly safe. Tell me, do you have... what does she look like? We will look for her.
As I pull up Gertruda's document. She's young maiden, brown of hair, blue of eyes. She's young, innocent, doesn't have a sense of danger.
Where would she go?
I don't know. She's lived here. I've tried to keep her safe her whole life.
Does she have any friends in town? Anyone that she would like to visit?
There aren't many people in this town who can call someone a friend anymore.
And what is your name?
Her name's Mary. They call me Mad Mary.
Ah, Mary. Maria. It is such a lovely name.
And Mary, when did Gertruda get out?
A week ago. She hasn't been back since.
If you are someone not familiar with this town and wanted to go out and explore, where would you go?
Give you 1 second to see what she knows specifically.
No problem.
Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Stay away from the graveyard, especially at night.
Why?
The dead in this land don't rest easy.
He turns and looks at Maria. We're going to the graveyard later.
Certainly. Okay. We will go look for your daughter. Please. Close the door. Keep yourself safe. We will return with her, I promise.
Please, if you find her, bring her back.
We will.
And she shuts the door, rebars it,
as-
rebarricades
yeah.
it.
Never mind.
Were you going to say something to her right before she closed the door?
I was, but
Go ahead. I mean, it takes a minute to close the door.
Yeah,
Like this.
sort of as the others are talking, Connie will sort of walk up and hand the woman, because I get a second one for being an. Wait, no. Will sort of place her hand on the woman's. Have faith in the gods. Dry your eyes. When Gertruda returns home, she wants to see you strong and beautiful.
Make me a persuasion check.
6 whole point.
She looks at you and just kind of gives you a nod that's almost disbelieving. Like, at this point, you suspect there's not a whole lot that can keep her from her sorrow, but she just kind of gives you the nod, almost just an acknowledgement that you said something to her.
Yeah.
And then she continues to shut the door, bars it, barricades it, goes back to her despondency.
We should certainly check out the graveyard, yes, but I'm curious about these creatures that come and take people in the night. Is there any way we could track them? I say, pointing at the claw marks.
A lot of those.
Connie
Well, they're-
will go back. The caravan's still around?
Yeah, it's sitting in the square waiting for you.
Go back to the. I guess I'll wait for the rest of the group to do that.
I mean, you said there's claw marks basically all over all the houses, right?
Yes.
We can't track this.
Perhaps they leave if they leave such obvious claw marks on the buildings, then perhaps they also leave obvious trails on the roads.
Could wait for them to come.
Those who are privileged with sanctuary may know more.
This is a good point. Perhaps we should return to the cart.
And As you return to the cart, you notice across the square, which you hadn't noticed before because of your haste to head toward Mad Mary's house. You find directly across at this building. A
Which
single
building?
shaft.
Sorry, I looked
Sorry,
over.
yeah, this building. A single shaft of light thrusts illumination into the main square, its brightness looking like a solid pillar in the heavy fog. Above the gaping doorway, a sign hangs precariously askew, proclaiming this to be the Blood on the Vine Tavern.
Is it the big building? Because I think you may have pinged on the wrong layer.
I was gonna
Sorry,
say.
I'm pinging on the wrong layer. Yes, it is the large building.
Okay.
Okay, that one. Well, perhaps someone in here might be more talkative.
Well, let us return to the caravan, and I believe that they actually wanted us to speak with. Well, they wanted us to speak with one of their leaders. So, they will be able to point us to a person who may know more.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Heading back to the caravan first.
As you approach, Stanimir is still like sitting at the head of the caravan. Are you ready to go?
No.
Well, we'll be waiting here for whenever you're ready to leave. I would warn
Those
against
that are
staying
taken
here
in
well
the
into the
night.
night.
Those that are taken in the night. Where are they taken?
Usually killed.
Taken means not killed. Pulled out front.
It's hard to say. As I say, this land is cursed, as is its lord. There are many foul creatures here who would take, kill, or otherwise injure the people who live in this town. I cannot say what the specific plight of this place is. This is not my home. I make my home at the camp of Madame Eva.
There are several reasons to take someone and kill them, to be fair. Sacrifice.
Are we all losing Jeremy or just me?
Just bits.
Yeah,
of, yeah,
I'm losing Jeremy just for, like, little
losing
bits.
bits of whatever Jeremy's saying.
Ah.
Okay.
Sacrifice. Cannibalism.
Many reasons that are
types
good.
of other types of consumption, trophies, serial killing.
Maria will
going.
Maria's John's character. Connie will find an accurate passage about the destruction of the unholy and reiterate that.
Valis, thank you very much for your encyclopedic knowledge. I think that is enough.
Very well.
You make your home with this Madame Eva, not here in the town. Who about town would you know might have more information about these beasts or the goings on? There is trouble here, and we would like to do something to remedy it.
Hey. If anyone would know the goings on of this town, it would be the village burgomaster, Colin Indirovic. Colin Indirovic.
Could you use it in a sentence?
Colin Indirovic.
Colin Indirovic.
Almost like D&D doesn't consider that names need to be said aloud when making modules.
Colin Indirovic. Okay, got
I
it.
thought it was Veach in this case, but okay.
Vic Indirovic.
It might be Vitch, but
It looks like Indirovic, but I think it could probably be pronounced either way.
it's Barovia.
Yeah, it's Barovian. It's not German.
It's more Russian.
Yeah.
So
And where might we find Colin?
I would not know, but likely at the burgomaster's mansion. It is the Likely the largest house. He kind of points south, like straight down that road that you went down
Yeah.
to Mad Mary's.
Oh, I know that Burgermeister means mayor, but I cannot help but every time someone says Burgermeister, think Burger King.
Yeah, you're not the only one.
Yeah, and specifically the Hamburglar mascot.
Or that, yeah, that's McDonald's. But yeah, like that. This like weird mash of somebody that just really wants a lot of hamburgers. um. Ah. Where would Mistress Eva be located at?
She is further along the road. We would be traveling, likely another. It doesn't actually give range increments on the map. A while before we would reach her camp.
Another while. Yes. Well then, I look at the rest. Do we want to see what we can gather information-wise here before we continue on to Madame Eva?
Yes. We need to find this girl.
Right. I am all for speaking to Kolyan and seeing what additional information we could acquire. Do any of us want to go into the tavern? I say, pointing at the tavern. Does the tavern look populated?
You can definitely hear the sounds of activity inside. And there is light coming out of it, so.
Do any of us want to go in there first or later?
I can get information out of them if.
Right then, let us go speak with the mayor first. I will stride off to the south.
He shrugs and follows.
Yeah.
All right, so you all head to the Burgermeister's mansion.
Yep. Heading to Burgermeister Meisterburger.
Burgermeister Meisterburger.
Yes.
Burgermeister Meister.
Burgermeister Meisterburger.
Is that like an In-N-Out burger?
That's an old Christmas anime like claymation movie
Yeah.
about Santa Claus.
So, as you approach the mansion, a weary-looking mansion squats behind a rusting iron fence. The iron gates are twisted and torn. The right gate lies cast aside, while the left swings lazily in the wind. The stuttering squeal and clang of the gate repeats with mindless precision. Weeds choke the grounds and press with menace upon the house itself. Yet, against the walls, the growth has been tramped down to create a path all about the domain. Heavy claw markings have stripped the once beautiful finish of the walls. Great black marks tell of fires that have assailed the mansion. Not a pane or shard of glass stands in any window. All the windows are barred with planks, each one marked with stains of evil omen.
Well, this is an interesting sight.
They've had a lot of company recently, it would appear.
So, Valis, first thing first, as he approaches, takes a sort of a moment, focuses his attention so his the all black eyes glow a little, using his eyes of the grave,
Okay?
which allow him to sense the presence of undead within 60 feet. Because this just seems fucked up.
All right, give me 1 second, because the Burgermeister's mansion is like a separate area.
Something ain't right here.
Because I know there have been undead. There's been undead all through this entire fucking town. I'm just trying to figure out if there are any right now.
If there are any currently.
There's some right next door.
No, you do not sense any undead within 60 feet of you.
He looks back. There is at least one threat we don't have to worry about yet.
Hey, this is good. And I will go up and knock on the door.
All right.
Or if there's a
I
gate.
look over
Well,
at
the
the
gate.
others. She's going to get stabbed.
Connie will give a nod.
He moves up to. Yeah.
But
He moves up to.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I thought you said she moves up too quickly. He moves up too quickly, and I was like, Maria's a she.
Yeah, no. Sorry, I meant. he
I'm
moves up
tired.
in order to.
in order
so
to
you
heal if stabbed.
you all approach the building.
Mhm.
As you knock, a strong female voice emerges from the door. Servants of Strahd, be gone from this place. I will have no more of your ilk.
Point of order, we are not servants of Strahd so much as foreigners come to this land to assist in the removal of a curse upon a prince and or the land at large, and also to find lost children and murder the undead.
Roll me a
Not
persuasion check.
Nice
in
summary.
that order.
23.
I
All
don't
right.
know.
What were you saying, Aaron?
No, it's fine.
As there's a pause, and someone gets closer to the door.
What the fuck did I just hear?
None of you or those with you claim allegiance to Count Strahd von Zarovich.
More to the point, I don't know if any of us have ever met one Count Strahd von Zarovich.
I don't know who that is.
Yes.
Then you are newcomers.
Yes.
That is precisely what I said, yes.
You might be able to help. Please come inside. And there's the sound of unbolting, and the door slowly opens. And standing inside is a woman of long auburn hair, striking woman who wears this sort of high-collared outfit that reaches up around her chin and the back of her head. Long brown hair flowing down both sides as she wears this red scarf around this sort of dimming gray dress. She looks at the group of you with a very keen gaze. Please, come inside quickly.
Mm-hmm. I will.
Yep.
Follow in last.
You all enter, and she immediately shuts the door behind you. The interior of the mansion is well furnished, yet the fixtures show signs of great wear. Noticeable oddities are the boarded-up windows and the presence of holy symbols in every room.
Do I know what holy symbols?
Yeah, I want a
like-
religion.
The Burgermeister
I didn't
is in
mean
a
to
side
interrupt.
drawing room on the floor, lying in a simple wooden coffin surrounded by wilting flowers and a faint odor of decay.
That's not vaguely.
I'm less interested in the holy symbols now.
I am more interested in the holy symbols now. I'd like to know which deity these people are praying to.
Roll me a religion check.
Yeah, I am
Gordon.
also religioning. 15.
13.
So there are a number of different deities that are on display here, but most of them are any knowable sun deities, any deities of sunlight, of hearth and protection, of the day, and that dislike undead.
Out of curiosity,
Okay. That's a
Any-
good thing.
Any Lathander?
Yes, absolutely, some of Lathander.
out of
Any Kelemvor? Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
no,
Probably
no,
at least one of Kelemvor.
I just out of curiosity, are there any that wouldn't be recognizable to Faerunian denizens?
I mean, Faerunian denizens who rolled 15 and 13 respectively on their religion checks.
What I'm getting at is, are there any like from Greyhawk or from Eberron or from other places in the metaverse?
Not at this point.
Okay. Okay.
So once I've got those,
Not
yeah,
that you would
I'm
recognize
looking
even
over
if they
to
were.
looking over to the body, but there are already people on that. So
Yeah. So following, did the woman go over to the body, or is she just sort of standing around?
She's like let you in and is currently rebarring the door and
So what has happened in here? I say, looking over at the body and going German again.
Was this Kolian?
this was the Burgermeister. Well, for the past several weeks, the manor has been attacked in the night by wolves and terrible creatures. I'm afraid my father's heart couldn't stand the constant assault, and 3 days ago he passed.
Ah, so perhaps of natural causes, not of murder.
He's been in state here for 3 days.
Well, my brother and I have had to construct this coffin, but strangely, since his death, the house has not come under assault.
Valis,
Mm.
I believe this is something you might want to inspect.
since I can use it a number of times equal to my wisdom modifier, which is 4, I'll do another. I'll go glowy-eyed again.
You do not sense any more undead in the immediate vicinity.
So Burgermeister is not undead. We don't need to worry. Looks back, we don't need to worry about him.
I was more curious as to how his death has, if there's anything about his particular circumstances of death that have protected the house. Considering that since his death, attacks have not happened. At least here.
Or they've simply accomplished their goal.
I hate to ask, but I would like your assistance with this matter. You see, no one from the village has been brave enough to help my brother Ismark take my father to the cemetery for proper burial. And I cannot leave this house.
Why not?
I am sought after by Strahd von Zarovich, and he cannot enter this house without permission. If I leave this house, he will find me.
And why is he after you?
Insight check.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll do that.
That sounds like a thing to do.
I feel like insight check is a standard thing for us in this campaign.
She is deadly serious. If she
God damn it,
leaves
if
this
she's
house,
being honest, I can't punch her.
if she leaves this house, she believes she will die, or be taken, or whatever.
Yeah.
I do not know why he seeks me. All I remember is that my encounters with him are all fuzzy and strange, but all I remember clearly is that blazing hunger in his eyes.
I am familiar with having to deal with pushy suitors. We will assist, of course. That is what we are here for.
Connie finds an accurate passage about consent in Soon's doctrine and will reiterate that in support.
Indeed.
My brother is in the Blood on the Vine Tavern. If you could retrieve him to bring my father's body to Donovich, the priest of the church.
So, to clarify, you have not left this home in how long?
Weeks, months.
Has a perchance teenage girl showed up?
No, it's just been myself, my brother, and until 3 days ago, my father.
If someone were taken from the town, where would they be taken?
The only places of note that I think people would be taken to would be the cemetery or the castle.
Which way are both of those?
The castle is the cemetery is on the northern end of the village. Castle Ravenloft is the home of Count Strahd von Zarovich.
Out of curiosity, would this Strahd have been a prince at one point in time?
Yes. I do not remember. He says many things when he greets those he has an interest in, but I do not recall them.
So then our look, turn to the others. So then our caravan master has brought us apparently to deal with the curse of Strahd.
Really? Really?
And roll credits.
And roll credits with an additional sin for it being really forced. God damn it.
Oh my god. You just gave the people at CinemaSins like an aneurysm.
That is my goal in life.
Hey, if any of you guys are watching, we love your stuff. We should collab or something.
God damn you. God.
Delicious. Oh, tasty. Okay.
Anyway.
Oh boy.
Who does he have an interest in?
I am uncertain. He's mysterious and typically only appears to those that he is interested in.
Well then, shall we perhaps adjourn to the tavern and contact the brother here so we can get this poor man to a proper burial?
Yes.
As I finally find my accent again.
As we confirm that John's ability to act feeds off of our misery and distress.
I am very much an emotional vampire like that, yes.
Fitting.
I assume, unless there's something anyone else wants to do, we...
To the tavern!
Human?
Sorry.
All right, so you head to the tavern.
Well, hang on. Aaron was saying something.
No.
They were just saying
I was
we go to the
trying...
tavern.
Yeah, we go to the tavern. And then I was going to ask, did you mention that the door to the tavern was also boarded up, or...
No, it's actually open.
Okay.
There is light coming out of it.
Sorry, I wasn't. That was what I was trying to say.
Yeah. I look at the rest.
I push the door open and walk inside.
That was what I was about to ask.
Well, I guess that answers that. Just stride in after Velis.
All right. Well, then we head to the Blood of the Vine Tavern. It's about a 60-foot square building. As you walk by the sign, if any of you are paying close attention, you might notice that it used to read Blood of the Vine, and N has kind of been scratched over with the F. There's a blazing fire in the hearth that gives some scant warmth to the souls that are huddled within. There is a lone barkeep who is kind of keeping the table. There are 3 individuals who have sort of a similar appearance to Stenimir and his traveling caravan. And there is a young pale-haired gentleman sitting in the far corner, sipping a drink very quietly.
Does that person have a filial resemblance to the woman we just met?
Absolutely. He definitely looks like her brother.
Stride straight across the room to his table.
As he's sipping his wine and he looks up. Hello. Please come sit. It's been a while.
Hello.
We come from your home. Your sister wants us to help you take your father's corpse to be buried.
Ah, that is quite straightforward.
I lean again, leaning from behind Valis. Hello, I am Maria. This is Valis. Behind me is Jonelle and Connie. Lean back.
All right then. Yes. Very well. Absolutely. We should definitely see that through. But here, why don't we have a drink? Barkeeper, can I get some more wine?
Insight.
I will.
Yeah.
I will not turn down wine.
I mean, it depends on how pretty the wine is, whether or not I'm allowed to turn it down. 17.
6.
You just all threw a lot at him real quick, and he would like to actually have a conversation with you before they get down to details.
Okay.
Valis ain't
God
got
damn
time
it.
for
If
that
he's not
shit.
lying, I can't punch him.
I will sit down across the table from him.
Valis remains standing behind Maria.
The barkeep comes over with a handful of wine glasses. It's a fine wine, red, as is the only wine in Barovia.
It's also the only wine they have in Thay, so.
Yeah, if it's fine wine, I'll take some, yeah.
They only serve red wine in Thay. I don't know why.
Oh, because you can easily disguise it as blood in the off chance that you're actually a vampire in Thay.
Also, they just have a thing with red in Thay. It's everywhere.
So, you spoke to Irina first. Well, that certainly knocks a lot of details out of the way.
Indeed we did. Drink.
Well, I have a bit of a favor to ask, if you wouldn't mind.
Is the favor helping you move your father's body to a priest? Because we've already said that's what we're here to do.
No, that's okay. That's a favor for Irina, and I will definitely help with that. But my sister is in danger. He says, taking a
Yes,
sip of
she
his wine.
said so. Something about
a Strahd.
Yes, Strahd von Zarevich is after her like he is after many of the other fine maidens of Barovia.
I have definitely dealt with someone like this before.
Have you heard of a girl named Gertruda?
Yes, fair of appearance, brunette of hair, bit of a shut-in of the local village.
I think I may know where Gertruda went.
But there is a place, supposedly, that is outside the sight of Castle Ravenloft and hopefully beyond the reach of Strahd, the village of Vallaki at the heart of the valley. If, after we dispose of my father's body with the priests, if you could help take Irina to Vallaki, I would greatly appreciate it. There, she will hopefully be safe from Strahd.
I look at the others and shrug.
Flips through the book. It is the responsibility of the followers of Soon to protect the beautiful. That one is actually from canon, okay?
Yeah, no, it is.
A lot of this is bullshit. That one is paraphrased canon.
Well then, I guess we are... I am at least am not perturbed by this offer, looking at Valis and Janelle.
I accept.
Well, I guess we're in it.
This will be a thing we do for you.
What is it about Vallaki that would be protective for her?
As you ask that question aloud, one of the individuals that has been sort of sitting around that looks very similar to Stanimir speaks up. Vallaki is actually at the heart of the valley by Lake Zarevich. It is outside of the view of Castle Ravenloft, which immediately makes it, well, less notable to the Count.
I have a sneaking suspicion this is where Madame Eva is. I say to the rest of the group.
Actually, Madame Eva makes her camp along the road towards Vallaki. I saw you were in the company of Stanimir. I suspect he is leading you to her. I suggest you get your fortunes read while you are there.
I think we shall do this. But first, a body, I say, finishing my wine.
Yes, Ismark downs the remainder of his wine, stands up. Yes, we should do this. As you stand, you notice that he keeps a blade on his hip.
As I stand, he'll notice I keep several on mine. I have a long sword, now a short sword, a steel pipe, and a sickle.
He has a long sword, a short sword, and a heavy crossbow across his body.
And a couple of daggers.
Connie will put down her drink and head off towards whatever like restroom or backspace she can find. And quickly like take off some of the outer layers of her somewhat formal party getup that she's actually just kept for the rest of the journey because didn't occur to her until now. Sort of in essentially a slightly sturdier crop top undershirt with an exposed back. And head back out.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
As we head Tell me more about this Count.
Count Strahd von Zarovich rules over all of Barovia from Castle Ravenloft to the northwest, and strides freely wherever he wishes, and is known to appear where he wants to be without much warning. He commands packs of monsters and wolves and bats, and seems to do as he pleases and cares little for the lives of those on this land.
Can I get a Arcana nature something?
You can roll me a religion check to know what vampires are, yes.
Be having some experience with monsters and killing them.
13.
God damn it! Fucking
Sounds
seriously?
mysterious and weird.
Like,
Connie, you've heard of beings that have these sorts of weird powers, but you don't know a lot about them. This isn't really your field.
Yeah.
I'm back. What'd I miss?
A natural
Apparently-
one on the know what vampires are check from our resident haunted one.
Ooh,
because that makes sense.
Yes. You skipped that day of class.
what was the thing that brought this up? Something I would have been privy to make a roll as well?
I mean, Valis asked Ismark about more details about
information
Strahd,
about
and he
Strahd.
gave information about how he wanders freely, seems to rule this land, wanders with packs of wolves and bats, and strides without warning, etc., etc.
With a 21, do I know what a vampire is?
Funnily enough, they loves blood magic.
Yeah.
So you have heard of those specific kinds of undead who have a very, very close tie with some lands and blood and the variety of creatures of the night that he speaks of. You've heard tell of vampires. You've never encountered one, and you don't know all the things about them, but you could surmise that this is likely, if not the exact curse, but similar to the curse that is befalling Count Strahd.
This sounds like tales of vampires that I've heard from my homeland.
What?
Powerful undead entities. Not much. Is
I
known
mean,
about them
once
when
the
they were
name
met in
is
the
mentioned-
Yeah,
Outlands,
once the name has been dropped, you know
I-
a little bit about
He like
vampires.
cuts straight off. I know what a vampire is.
Oh.
Looks over at Ismar. The lord of this land is a vampire.
I don't know what that is, so I could not answer you.
It at least sounds like one. Would explain several things.
See the look on Janelle's face. It's very similar to Valis at this point.
Where are we in the moving a body to the graveyard?
I mean, you haven't left the tavern yet.
Okay.
Well, I figured that was as we were walking.
Yeah, so you're
Yeah.
leaving the tavern now, and you're on the road. You head back to the Burgermeister's
circling
manor.
this
The
shit up.
Burgermeister's manor. And so you re-enter the manor, and Irina seems to have prepared the coffin for transit. It's like decked with a pair of holy symbols across the front of it, and the lid has been shut. Ah, you've returned. Ah, there you are, Ismark. Are you ready? Ismark kind of brushes his hair to the side. Yes, let's get this over with, and then we all need to have a discussion after we've safely interred our father. So-
Do you have a cart of some kind, or are we to be pallbearers as well?
Yes, I'm afraid we'll have to carry him on our shoulders.
That's fine.
As a word of caution, I do not, in my daily life, do much in the way of heavy lifting.
That's all right.
I hold up my arms and emphasize the frail, like overemphasize that they are frail girly arms.
It's all right. I should be able to carry it, most of it myself, with just the help of one other.
Yeah,
Connie will step forward.
I think we're good. I've got a strength of 17. You're probably 16.
Yes, woman of faith. Yes, yes, I would appreciate any assistance. Let's get this to Donovich before the night falls.
Connie and
preferably.
Valis go.
that he identifies me instantly as a person of faith and not the cleric. That's hilarious.
The cleric is a death cleric.
That's also true.
Grave cleric, not death cleric. Let's make the important distinction between those two.
Okay. That's also true. But I feel like the grave cleric is actually the one carrying coffins is more suited to than the cleric of, than the barbarian of a beauty goddess. But yes, Connie will.
The two bruisers pick up the coffin with ease while I cheerlead from behind.
It's Mark, Valis, and Connie can all very easily, like, with two of you, it would have taken a strength check. With all three of you, you just lift the coffin.
Yeah.
And so you
Worst
proceed...
case scenario, I rage carry the coffin.
just shot put him across town.
No, but you know.
Yeah, you carry you carry the coffin.
Yep.
And so you make your way through the village. It gets much quieter, and that's saying something, but it gets much quieter when you start walking through with a coffin on your shoulders. As you make your way toward the church on the hill, which is up here, and I will move all of your tokens over there.
Just paying close attention to our surroundings, since Irena said she
We've been
is being hunted.
Yeah.
Well, Irina's staying in the house.
As we're walking, we've been told to avoid the graveyard at night. I'm assuming this has something to do with vampires.
Well,
completely missing the fact that Ismark had no vampire was before.
Yeah. Well, every night at midnight, the dead stir in the graveyard. And everyone does their best to stay locked up and quiet during that period and stays away from the graveyard.
Looks over at the others. We are coming to the graveyard tonight, right?
Unfortunately, the one who would be vocally responding is not present right now.
Connie cannot shrug because he's currently carrying something.
I would have to agree with Velis. This is an abomination and an affront to the light within.
Yes, the light within.
Sorry, I keep having to deal with a screaming child.
Look over at Velis. So there is a way to prevent him from rising again.
Are you speaking of the body or of somebody else?
Yes, if we bury him here,
Yes, I am aware.
what is to prevent him from succumbing to what the others have?
Actually, would I be aware? Let me. Blah, blah.
Would you be aware of what? The way to prevent a corpse from rising?
Yes.
Yeah, as a cleric, you're aware of
Okay.
like, especially as a death domain as a grave domain cleric, you are aware of the rituals and spells that can prevent
There are
bodies from being raised in undeath.
there are spells that can be done. Unfortunately, that I do not have access to. Otherwise, look over at Ismark for just a moment before looking back. Change his decision of what to say. It's just he looks over just to judge the reaction. Behead the body.
Ismark just like,
Surely simply chaining the coffin closed would also have a similar effect, would it not?
That is entirely dependent upon how strong the individual might be. That said, I did not detect any undeath coming off of him. That doesn't mean he won't become undead, but
all right, at this point you're approaching the church.
yeah.
So, atop a slight rise against the roofs of the pillar of stone that supports Castle Ravenloft stands a gray, sagging edifice of stone and wood. This church has obviously weathered the assaults of evil for centuries on end and is worn and weary. A bell tower rises toward the back, and flickering light shines through holes in the shingled roof. The rafters strain feebly against their load.
Is there a head priest here still?
Oh. As you approach, the heavy wooden doors of the church are covered with claw marks and scarred by fire, but they do seem to be shut.
Gabriel really wants to interject. He wants to let you all know that he wants to help kill undead and vampires and things.
Part of Strahd von Zervich will be played by
As I move everybody over.
Same question. That said, is there still a priest here?
Yes, that would be Donovich.
Also, our map is completely black.
Yeah, I have to give you token sight. 1 second.
Oh, okay.
I have to get Ismark over here as well. There he is. Has sight.
I have 60 feet of dark vision. I don't have 60 feet of dark vision. I have... Torchlight
I have
is 40 feet
no
or 80
dark
feet?
vision. What are you?
Torchlight is 40 feet or 80 feet?
30, I think.
Something like that.
Because a hooded lantern is the most at 88.
Yeah. I don't have dark vision. I have dark vision that everyone can see. Because it's dim
I
light.
have a light spell, which is 30 feet.
Yes.
I do have dark vision.
I also have dark vision.
Half of us do, half of us don't. At
Though
least-
it's not night right now, so ideally it's at least dim light.
Yes.
All right. Can you guys see everything?
Yes.
All right.
So you look
I
back
cannot.
to
Oh, now I can. Haha.
looks back to Ismark. How useful is this priest?
My dealings with Donovich are not unpleasant, but I typically am not long to speak with him. So,
Will he be able to perform this
I couldn't tell you, actually.
So yeah, just for William's edification, for use of the token, if I've got the lantern on, it would be 60 feet with 0 for where dim light starts.
Yeah.
He looks over at Maria, since they're all holding a coffin.
Yes, I will. I will go up to the door and knock.
I let go of the coffin and walk forward. No.
All right. Let me get the church.
And my one spell slot of the day.
All right. So, you hear a you don't hear quite a response, but you realize the door is not locked.
Open it up.
Right.
Get shot immediately. You hear an explosion as a cannon fires.
All right. So, the doors open to reveal a 10-foot wide, 20-foot long hall leading to a brightly lit chapel. The hall is unlit and reeks of mildew. 4 doors, 2 on each side of the hall, lead to adjacent chambers. You can see that the chapel is strewn with debris, and you hear a soft voice from within reciting a prayer. Suddenly, the prayer is blotted out by an inhuman scream that rises up from beneath the wooden floor.
I draw my
Setting
sword.
down a coffin.
I will.
Dropping a coffin and pulling out.
Catching a coffin and setting
Sorry.
it down.
Somebody's flaw is I feel no compassion for the dead because they're the lucky ones.
That's fine. My flaws are mostly related to not knowing what the fuck I'm doing.
Basically, his reaction is dropping. Not bring this thing back to will not bring this body to unlife. So I don't care.
Yeah, I'm going to draw my sword and just be prepared to cast a spell just in case. And sort of step into the building.
Can I catch the coffin when the weight drops onto me and set it down gently?
You roll me a strength check. Athletics, actually.
Hey, fair. It's you and Ismark.
Yeah, with advantage, because Ismark is helping. Because he does not want his...
13.
Yeah, so you manage to grab the coffin as it starts to drop and set it down gently.
Setting that down.
What's the name of the priest, by the way?
Donovich.
Done. Yeah.
Hey,
So he stepped forward.
Father Donovich, I call out.
As you approach, the individual who seems to be in prayer looks up from the altar. Huh! He looks incredibly startled. He is wide-eyed. Looks like he hasn't slept in weeks, maybe. He kind of just he looks a little insane. Like, not in the violent way, but in the I have seen so much shit way. And he kind of looks at the group of you. Strangers. Welcome to the Church of the Morning Lord.
Holding my hand up. Pardon me, we heard a scream beneath the floorboards. Would you happen to know what that was?
I have taken this time to cast guidance on myself, by the way.
That is a problem of the church.
Well, we are deft problem solvers. Perhaps we might be able to handle it for you.
Roll me a persuasion check.
15. And if it matters, I do have position of privilege.
That is my son, Doru.
And what is wrong with him?
A little more than a year ago, my son, Doru, and several other villagers revolted. They stormed Castle Ravenloft, following a wizard in black robes who came to this place from a faraway land. By all accounts, the wizard and all who journeyed with him in this revolt died by the hand of Count Strahd, including my son, who is locked in the Undercroft below.
I assume he needs to be
I'm
put to rest
sorry.
then.
No,
What?
please. I have been praying to the I have been praying to the Morning Lord for some way to save my son without destroying him.
I'm inside checking this motherfucker.
I believe him.
Yeah, insight would definitely be the thing to do. 10.
He's being honest. He's trying to save his son.
And assuming that you have had no success, I will regret to inform you that there are very few ways indeed within the power of most mortals to return those who have died to the living.
Valis is just striding into the chapel at this point.
He is locked in the Undercroft at the moment, and I currently do not have possession of the key. And I will continue to pray for an answer.
Where is the Undercroft?
I will not show you so that you may attempt to slay my son before I can attempt to save him.
He's already dead.
I must try and save my son.
I am going to put my sword away, move up, put a hand on Valis' shoulder. Valis, please. And then sort of move up towards Donovic. Look. The town... The town is already under attack on a nightly basis from creatures that have risen from the dead. There may very well be a way to save your son. However, in the time that it takes to find such a manner, as my son begins to fuss in the background, in the time it takes to find such a resource or to acquire the power necessary to it, are you willing to take the chance that your son manages to break free, overpower you, kill you perhaps, and add you to their number, and wreak havoc upon the rest of the town? Would you take the guilt of others dying on your conscience?
My son is all I have left in this world.
To be honest, you do not have him anymore.
Yeah, Valis is like, then you have nothing.
Can I make a persuasion roll?
Connie will flip through her book a bit.
I'm not going to make you make a roll because you're not going to be able to convince him otherwise.
I figured.
We are not exactly the most... we have not made the most convincing argument.
Your son has already passed from this world, and he...
Connie's reading a book. Hang on.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Connie.
Your actions of love are admirable, but it does not protect beauty to hold on to what has been lost if you cannot restore it. What actions would you take, or do you only hold the hope that perhaps a god will step in?
The greatest hope that I have is that perhaps if the curse afflicting Strahd von Zarovich is lifted, then perhaps the one afflicting my son will be as well.
I look back at Valis. Does Valis seem like he's about to just kill this guy and go on to the sun?
No, absolutely not. He has no apparent intent of killing him. He is turning around and looking at these 4 doors like he's about to start and looking for.
He's about to start opening and looking for Undercroft.
Connie will then turn to Valis. To see Hege, even with just cause, we're not knowing what one is destroying, may unleash dangers one does not anticipate.
We know what the danger is.
Yes. Looking over at the priest, like you're.
And once the lock is broken, the next one.
Oh, I need to make 2 corrections, by the way. Because of the layouts of this stuff. There are 2 actually iconographies that were on the holy symbols all over the house. Neither of which you recognize because they're unique to Barovia.
Oh, okay.
Never mind.
Okay.
And also, the resemblance between Ismark and Irina is mostly in demeanor. They definitely appear to look somewhat different in the face and in the hair. And their clothing and demeanor is very similar.
All right.
That's looking over at the priest. Is your son is gone, and what he has become is an affront to what he was. He needs to be freed from the suffering that he's going through.
Even if I were to agree to that, I don't have the key to the Undercroft.
That is an
Allow
obstacle
me
that is
to
easily
fix
overcome.
this problem.
Keys are not an obstacle.
I walk to this door and I open it.
All right, let me.
Hey guys, maybe they have a lock on the place where they put all of the undead for a reason, and if we break the lock, they won't be able to put it back once we're done killing things. No, Connie, I'm sure that's stupid. That's what's going on in Connie's head right now. There's like a little play.
This dirty room contains a wooden bed with a straw-filled mattress, next to which rests a small table with an oil lamp burning brightly on it. Mounted above the bed's headboard is a wooden sun-shaped holy symbol.
Start searching.
Valis, I call out. Perhaps
Head
we should.
pokes out.
Perhaps we
What?
should finish the task we came here to do first.
I can't see Jeremy's head, but I'm just assuming that Valis is staring.
One of these corpses is not moving. The other is screaming.
Yes.
I feel we should deal with the one that is screaming first.
If we put we can put the one that's not moving in the ground so that while we are dealing with the one that is screaming, it does not get up and start joining the festivities.
Roll me a religion check, Jeremy or Valis.
19.
Odds are good that if the story of what happened to Donovich's son Doru is true,
Oh shit!
he's
it's
not
still day,
just
isn't it?
he's not just an undead.
Oh, yeah, huh?
Right.
He went to Count Strahd, the vampire's castle, died and has been returned.
Right.
He's probably not just a regular undead.
Right.
You're all level 1.
Valus
I
does
don't
not
think that's gonna change
understand
Valus's
mechanical
mind.
level and challenge rating.
What I will say is, you know that even a fledgling vampire is beyond your current abilities.
And will result
Good
in your
thing there's
death.
4 of us.
It's fine. Our cleric has a death
And
wish.
next week you'll meet our
No. Well, apparently we decided to go to the part in the introductory adventure that will will apparently kill us.
You don't have to go fight Doru. You have first of all,
we did
he doesn't know where the key's at.
sort of go head on towards that ourselves.
Like, you're actively being deterred from trying to go after Doru.
No, it's okay. We have the information now. That is
So-
good to know.
So, still looking at Valus, just sort of, I give Valus the most pathetic puppy dog eyes that I can possibly muster, and I've got an 18 charisma, so hopefully it's really pathetic.
Well, their charisma is twice as what mine is.
Very well.
Thank you, Valus.
I mean, I want to be clear. He's not leaving this place until he's dealt with the vampire. So if Wizards of the Coast created it to TPK level 1 characters in the first town you come to, that's their problem.
They created it so that you'd
Can
be
I
coming
make
back to
Jeremy?
these locations.
Can I make an insight check to see what might be going on with Valus?
It gives you a background called Haunted One and sets up situations where you are monster hunters.
Yes.
I understand that. I'm trying to deal with
I'm
this
just-
character if possible.
We're staring at Valus and trying to figure out what's going on in his head.
I pretty much just told you.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah. Okay. That's.
Oh.
We can
There's
have
far too
conversation.
much threat in just
Yeah.
leaving in his mind. There is far too much threat in just leaving this thing to sit here while we go off to other villages and go back to talk to the group who apparently call this vampire their cursed lord.
Yes.
There is so much not happy with the situation that Valus has right now.
Okay.
I-
Sort
Yeah.
of understanding that, Connie is going to just kind of slam the book shut, look directly at the
Donovich.
Donovich. Thank you. Darius is the character I made. Donovich, you are the holy priest of this town. You might have responsibility to your son, but you also have a fucking responsibility to all of the people of this town. What happens when that thing gets out and kills you? Oh, I understand it wears your son's face, but it isn't your goddamn child.
I don't have the power to kill him. If I do not keep him locked below, he will kill everyone in this village.
Who has the key? I'm not saying I'm going to unlock the door and let him out. Who has the key?
I've lost it. I don't know where
You
it
say
is.
you don't have the power to kill him. He is a more significant threat than the others, or are all that rise this dangerous?
He is like Strahd.
Oh, so he's a vampire too.
Two.
Valus, we're not going to be killing the boy. Not yet. If we try,
What?
we will die.
I
And we
would
will
hate
be
to
of
admit
no use to everyone else in this place.
I would hate to admit it, as much as I agree with Valis that yes, this might be a bit beyond our abilities to properly put him to rest at this moment.
Why don't we shelve this discussion for just a moment? We brought someone who needs to be buried. Are you able to perform rites to ensure that Done Death does not find this one?
Yes, I can absolutely inter the dead. Yes. Who have you brought?
Apparently, you cannot.
Your burgomaster.
I'll handle it.
Well, Polian and Dirovich.
Charisma 8, guys.
Yep.
Do you know why the creatures may have stopped attacking his house after he died?
I do not.
Is that typical if a body is not brought here that the house remains unharmed?
No. I wonder. Some information you may wish to know. Particularly as Ismark is still outside with the casket. Particularly in regards to Colian's children. Ismark is Colian's son. Irina is not the natural daughter of Colian and Dirovich. Irina never learned of this, but Colian found her at the edge of the Svalich woods near the pillar stone of Ravenloft. She was but a girl then and seemed to have no memory of her past. Colian adopted her and loved her dearly, but I suspect that her mysterious origins are part of why Lord Strahd has an interest in her.
Well, why does everything keep getting more and more complicated in like the 5 minutes we've been here?
Such is the nature of Barovia.
Are you...
Tell us about the nomadic people.
The Vistani. Yes. What do Barovians know about the Vistani? The Vistani are, well, among the many beliefs that we have, the Vistani serve the Devil Strahd. They alone are allowed to leave Barovia, and as Strahd seems to look favorably upon their lust for life and their nomadic ways, they serve him when called upon, but they are allowed to wander freely to and from the land of Barovia.
So why would they leave the land of Barovia in order to find adventurers to deal with Strahd?
Well, they are by no means slavish. They are servants, but not mindless. They may be wishing to free their lord.
And freeing their lord frees the entire land of Barovia, etc., etc.
Such is the case. He is a dangerous vampire.
Well, Let us deal with one thing at a time. I say, looking back out at the door. I don't know if Valis has already gone out to get the coffin or not, but...
Yeah, probably.
So... We have a body to bury.
The Morning Lord, we should perform this at dawn. I would suggest... The Morning Lord no longer answers our prayers. He has not for centuries, not since the curse of Strahd befell. But Mother
Roll
Night,
fight it ×2.
Mother Night is still present. She is felt most strongly between dusk and dawn. Her nighttime prayers to her go ever unanswered. But at dusk, at dawn, is when we should perform this ritual.
Doesn't.
The sun, as much as it has not shone over this place, night will fall soon. I suggest you find a safe place to stay for the evening.
Tell me, what is the nature of the undead that come out at night?
Ah. Well, I suppose you've heard of that from some of the villagers.
And also seen evidence of their passing.
Well, the claw marks you see are from Strahd's servants, but every night at midnight, the spirits of those dead who have come to Barovia, either as adventurers or as rebels, or those who have risen up and attempted to destroy Strahd, their spirits rise from the graveyard, where they perform a silent procession as they walk the road toward Castle Ravenloft.
Are they hostile?
They have not yet interacted with anyone, but most stay clear of them. They walk the road to the castle every night at midnight.
And do Strahd's servants come out every night as well?
They are active during the night. They're not... We pray that they do not threaten us every night, but that most of their activity does come when the sun... when even what vague hints of light are present during the day are gone.
Sorry, never mind.
Well then, let us bring the body inside and gather ourselves for the evening and return in the morning to deal with this burial.
So outside, he's already prepping the body.
All right.
Because Kelemvor's services are done at sundown. He's down to be acceptable in this case, and he already made it clear inside that he doesn't think this person is appropriate for doing a burial ritual at this point. Since he's a priest of Lathander who's like, oh, my son's an undead, it's have to deal with it. I understand.
He specifically, yeah, he's a priest of
Jeremy,
Lathander,
the player, understands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, go out. I'm gonna
Go out.
outside. Valus,
Yes.
are you planning to bury him in the front yard?
No, I assume we will be taking him back into the graveyard.
So the Morning Lord services are apparently done at dawn.
No,
Kelemvor's are done near.
The Morning Lord they've mentioned is kind of forsaken this land.
Oh, yeah, well,
At sundown. He will accept near sundown given the circumstances.
I look over, because really the only person whose opinion actually matters in this particular regard, I look at his son. Would this be acceptable to you?
He was a devout follower of the Morning Lord. I would rather he be buried in proper custom.
Cannot force your ways on.
Looks over. He's so.
When Maria starts talking, there's a complete lack of acknowledgement there. Just is looking over at looks over at Ismar for a moment and just basically cuts Maria off with very well. Understands other people's being worshippers of other religions and respecting those burial rites.
Yay!
We
Yeah.
should bring him into the church. though.
Kalimdor is a tolerant religion. Unless you're a Syracist, in which case, fuck you and the horse that you rode in on.
Connie, could we get your quite valiantly strong muscles out here, please?
Connie will probably still a little pissed. Not supposed to be valiant. I'm supposed to be fucking gorgeous.
You are also gorgeous. Valiant and gorgeous are the same thing.
And will help carry the coffin.
All right. So you carry the coffin in. Which room do you put it in?
Where am I instructed to put it by the fucking priest who runs the shrine temple?
If you ask Donovan, he's just like, leave it in the center of the chapel. I obviously can't use this room for prayer service. It can at the very least be a place for the soon to be interred.
I mean, she'll find some way to ask. I'm sure she knows basic questions in prepared statement form.
Yeah, so you set the coffin in the center of the room.
Well,
I will see to it that he is prepared for the dawn. Return here at dawn, and we will perform this ceremony.
and we must simply survive the night.
Indeed. Be careful. And as you all go to find out how you're going to survive your very first night in Barovia, we will end there for the day.
All right. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Adios.
Goodbye.